Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the EMC generator series. Today we'll be covering the cactus farm. This one I've built earlier. This is slightly bigger than the one I'm going to be showing you how to build today, but the method I'm going to be showing you is repeatable. So if you wanted to make it bigger, you could use what I show you today and then make it as big as small, or even layered if you wanted to. So yeah, let's get started. So all I've done here is I've made an 11 by 11 square and then made it one block deep. And these are two things I haven't shown so far, which you might want to use. Is definitely increases the speed. First off is the Harvest Goddess bands. So that is the recipe for that. And next is the DM pedestal. Now these are both, well, especially the DM pedestal, are very expensive, but if you watch my other videos then that will show you how to make that kind of resources. And at this stage we're just going through the motions of trying out every EMC generator there is in the game. So let's get started. So 11 by 11. So how cactus farms work is you need to have water directly underneath. So how I like to do it is I like to go one sand, one wood, one sand, and then break the sand out from underneath. And you just basically need to do that, leaving a gap between each one, like this. Now it's important that there is a gap between this and the wall on both sides. That's as far as we want that. So you want to make 4 rows, sorry, 4 columns, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Okay, excellent. Right, so now we can go around and put all of the wood on. So the reason why we're doing this is that how this cactus farm works, and how a lot of cactus farms work, is when the cactus breaks off of the stem, it will fall off the sides and into running water, which will push all of the cactus down, like you can see in my pre-made model. So there's got to be a gap underneath the plant, otherwise it will get stuck on its frame, I guess you could say, and then it won't be able to go down to your collection zone at the end, which we're going to be using transposers for, because this is Tekkit and we use transposers for everything. Okay, once you've done that, get your cactus out, and you want to just go along and place cactus on all of the blocks. As you can see, this doesn't really take that long. When you first start, it's a little bit daunting, but once you get started, it really doesn't take very long at all. Okay, alright, let's get your spade up. So now you can just go along with your spade. Oh, balls. I knew I was going to do that at some point. It's the problem with the dark matter spades, is they're a bit too good. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these. Okay, so once you've done that, you'll have something that looks like that. Now this is a much smaller version than what I've got, but as I said, the lesson you learn here is repeatable, and you can just go away and do it as much or as little as you'd like. Okay, right, once you've done that, you want to take your transposers, sorry, you want to take some redstone tubing and run it, oh, no, don't want to do that, got a bit stuck there. You want to run it all the way along this edge, like so. Okay, now once you've done that, you want to take transposers, and you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Now you can choose to get rid of these if you want and have the redstone wiring come up, but I like to do it like this. So then you want to have it come off of the transposers. So dig a little trench, if you will, like this, and then have the wiring come off like that. Then you want to take your energy condenser, which is what you use for every EMC generator, and pop it in the middle like that. Now you could have had this go 1 block deeper if you wanted to, and then cover it up so you couldn't see it. It's really up to you. I'm not going to go into it right now. And then you need to power it. Now the way I like to do it is I like to just stick like that, get a bit of redstone like that, and then just shove a timer down. To be honest, these are only collecting, so I like to have them just on a 1-second timer, just nice and neat. Excellent. Oh, we're about to get plunged into darkness. Okay, so once you've done that, we need to get your buckets of water. Okay, hopefully I've got enough. I have a feeling I don't, but we shall soon find out. If we don't, we'll have to make a little water source. Yeah, I don't have enough. Oh, I've got a big lake of water right next to me. How convenient. Oh no, I think I did just about have enough. Okay, so as long as each... Basically, the way to test it is to get down to this end and look to see if there's a straight line. If there is, then you've done it right. So basically, we've got the water source stopping one block in front of the transposer. So you've got transposer, block, then the end of the water. Because the item will get dragged down here. It'll actually end up somewhere in the middle of this block, and the transposer will then pick it up. It'll also pick up blocks from here, which is why I've left a gap. Okay, so now if you wanted to make the cactus farm longer, as in like deeper, you would have to go down a block here, and then go another 8, and then have the entire thing like come down a level, like I've done here. As you can see, like the cactus farm has come down a level, because the water source needs to continue. So that's how you would make it deeper. Lengthwise, you wouldn't need to make any alterations, you just need more water. That's it. So as I said, it's really easy to copy on over. Okay, so now is the slightly tricky part, I guess you could say, is you want to take some glass or building material of your choice. Okay, and you need to build up to here. Okay, so now normally you would have a cactus farm work like this. You would have glass sit like that, and when it grew, it would instantly break and fly off into the water. But we're going to be using the DM pedestal, and I found that it isn't that clean. I think is the best way of putting it. Yeah, it's just a bit glitchy. It's probably the best way to say it. So this is how you want to do it. So you want to come down into this lane here, and you are going to build it like you would a normal cactus farm. So you're going to come along like this, all the way across this lane, and you're going to come out until you're over the water and onto the sand section, and then you're going to go back along, and you're going to do it again. The reason for this is sometimes the cactus, when it grows, the first block doesn't instantly break, but when it grows for the second time, it then recognizes that it's against the surface, and then it breaks. So that basically just ensures that it absolutely does break. If you're not using a DM pedestal, you won't need to double up. You can just do a single one. Yeah. Okay, so now you need to do the same onto this side. Oh, I've done that wrong. Yeah, you got to make sure that you don't have it already next to the cactus, or it will just instantly break as you're building it. Okay, so if you wanted to, all you got to make sure is that you don't have glass touching more than 2 rows. So a good example of this is you don't need to put another one there, because you've already got glass touching this row and this row, so you don't need another one there because it's already affecting it. If you put another one there, when these broke, they would fall onto the sand block and then not fall into the water, because it wouldn't know which direction to go. But because glass is on this side, it will fly to the opposite direction of the block that's making it break, so it will fall into the water. So you've always got to make sure that there's not more than one glass affecting any given cactus block. Just a little fun fact for you there. Okay, so once you've done that, you want to connect these up. More out of neatness than anything. Okay, and then one of the most important things is you probably want to in all honesty, you probably want to double this up again, because I find that if it does go to do, sometimes the cactus breaks on top of the glass. But what I like to do is I like to put a roof on it, like so. That way, there's absolutely no way that cactus can fall onto the top of the glass. So the reason why I make this out of glass is so that I can see everything that's going on inside. I think cactus farms look quite visually pleasing because they look technical, complicated, interesting, whatever you want to class it as. And I find that things that look good don't really need to be covered up with blocks. So I make it out of glass so I can see all the inner workings. Also, I can see if there's any problems, like if there's any cactus that refuse to grow or anything like that. You can get a good view from the outside without having to break your way in. Also, I think, don't citation needed, but I think that cactus grow better with sunlight, so it's another added bonus. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing here is forgot that was there. I am just finishing up the framework here. Now, on the left and right hand side, this can come all the way down to the ground to stop the cactuses falling off the side. It shouldn't happen because they're going to fall inwards, not outwards. But it's just a precaution to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay. So you also need to make this back row come. Ow, cactus there. Okay, so you also need to make this back row come all the way down to the ground to again stop the cactus from falling off of their grow blocks and into an area that won't collect them. So this is probably what takes the longest out of the entire build, just building up these walls. But it's worth it because it becomes like absolutely 100% working then. I'm gonna change it to daytime again, so I get plunged into darkness. Okay, nearly done, nearly done. It's one of the longest builds, just because of how many blocks there needs to be placed. Okay, right, now this is the last thing. Now this is up to you. This is just my personal preference. But I like to add one more little thing. Oh no, I've done that wrong. I like to add almost like a catch bar to the build. I'll explain as I'm doing it. Basically, cactus sometimes like to fly off of their grow block, and I do literally mean fly. Balls, I've run out of glass. I have to make the last little bit out of wood. Now I'm going to have to make that symmetrical, or that is going to drive me insane. Cactus like to fly off of where they're being built from. And though it is a very small chance, there is a chance that it'll actually clear the transposers while it's growing, and then you'll build up like an excess of cacti like here, and then it will just get laggy, and you'll have your admins going, "The hell are you doing over there?" So you only need sort of like 2. I mean, you might want to go 3 bars just to make sure, but I don't think you'll need 3. So that is now complete. That is now done. You could just leave this here, and this will eventually make cacti. As you can see, we've got 2 in the chest now. This is quite small for a regular cactus farm, but this ain't no regular cactus farm, because we're now going to get up on top of it. We're going to find the very center, which is here. Okay, and we're just going to plop down. Okay, so you want to come up to about... Oh no, you don't want to come up to here. This is exactly why you don't want to come up to here. Okay, so you need to stay 1 block, as you just saw me make the foolish mistake. You want to stay 1 block below the cactus, because otherwise you'll make it break. So you want to take your DM, pedestal, throw it down below you. Now you need to shift second click, hold down shift and second click to open up the inventory. Take the Harvest Goddess band and plop it in like that. I'm not going to bother filling that up because there's no really point. Okay, now it's not going to do anything until you second click it. Don't hold shift, just second click. Bang. And that activates it. Okay, now let's get out of here. Oh, you want to break that wood below you. Forgot about that. Always the water will stay like that. And as you can see, the cactus farm has sprung into life. Once the DM, basically the DM pedestal makes the effects of a ring affect the area that it would normally affect without having to be in your inventory. And the harvest ring makes wheat, cacti, flax, so on and so forth grow at a much faster rate. The other thing it does is that when it grows to maximum height, it will go further, but obviously we don't need that to happen. So what we've got is we've got a harvest band working constantly without needing to be in our inventory. And then when it reaches the height we want it to, it breaks, moves down the water source, gets picked up by the transposers, moved along the pipes and into our condenser chest. Now as you can see, we had 2 on the standard cactus farm for the entire build, and in what, 10 seconds we're now up to 22. So this thing is actually quite fast, which makes it quite a viable build. So yeah, I think that's it. So this has been the cactus farm, episode 4. Next time we'll be doing the wheat farm, so look out for that. Brilliant. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.